Keith Opperman, what's up, buddy?
How's it going? It's going great.
Good. It's good to see you. Also, super weird that we're on video. I told everybody I had a black eye last week, so there you go. For real, Telemark pirate in the flesh. But good to have you on, buddy. I think it's been a couple years since we did that first podcast, and we've obviously been talking a bunch and staying in touch over the years and doing stuff. And we had the demo fleet out there for a while. But how you been, man? What's new in your world in the northern Wisconsin woodlands?
Well, this summer we took Midwest Tele Fest to a 501c3 nonprofit status. So
Okay.
that's the big news. And we did that for a variety of reasons, mainly to just make the fest more sustainable. And then this way we can bring back a few things. We've had some requests over the years, so we're just trying to grow the fest, make it the best fest that we can, and at the same time create sustainability.
What all goes into doing a 501c3? Because I've always wondered that. I mean, like nonprofit status, I've obviously there's been people along the way in the ski business, like I've known, like, hey, I started this 501c3, but what exactly goes into that?
It was a fair amount of work, just because I'm a tradesman, not I don't do a whole lot of administrative stuff. That's not my strong point. So for me, it was there was a lot, but I did go through a local lawyer. He helped. It really sped up the whole process, and it really wasn't that hard. Just a lot of hurry up and wait.
Yeah. I guess what was the whole idea? Like, when did you start thinking about nonprofit status? What I guess, like, what was the thing that led you to go in that route instead of I guess another route, I don't know, what's the other route? Being a profitable business?
Yeah, I guess. It was brought to my attention that maybe we should, go to the nonprofit status so that we could, better fund music. And that was the initial pitch. And at the time I just felt like, boy, then I have to have a board of directors, and it's a thing. It's not just two guys organizing something, on their spare time. All of a sudden it's a legit organization. And it was a little intimidating at first, and I didn't really think I wanted it. But the more and more I thought about it, it really started to grow. And then, I realized that, yes, I could, with proper funding, that opens up a different, more music, bigger bands, different bands. And we've had some really great music over the years, and we've asked some really good friends to, do us a favor and do things on the cheap, and it's nice to be able to fundraise this year, and we've been doing a fairly good job at it already. And so this year we'll be able to, one, not have the tele toll that everybody wanted to get rid of. Nobody liked the tele toll.
What is the tele toll?
For years you had to pay to get into the party. And so that helped fund the party. And the cost of the tele toll varied throughout the years. And when I took it over 10 years ago, this is my 10th year at Telefest, organizing it. The one thing everybody always requested is like, man, can you do away with the tele toll? And this year we're going to have great entertainment, a lot of fun events, and no tele toll. So that's pretty exciting.
I love that. Well, and I think that that's a perfect lead into talking a little bit about your nonprofit status. Congratulations on that, because that is a big deal. Like, I mean, this is year 34, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, 34 years as an event, getting that nonprofit status, getting more organized. I think that's a really cool step. And then trying to figure out like how to take this thing into the future. And, you and I have, known each other over the years. We've tried some various things. Over the last couple of years, we were trying to do like, okay, Keith's going to be sort of our Midwest Freeheel life guy. He's going to be able to do some tech work at his house. He's going to be able to do, some rentals and demos. And I think both my business and then now you're going sort of this direction. We still wanted to find a way, like, how does Freeheel Life stay active with the Midwest? And obviously our relationship made it easy to, all right, cool. Like, we want to be part of Midwest Tele Fest. And so as we're heading into the 34th year, you don't have the demo fleet, but we're going to bring the demo fleet. And I think Taylor and I are going to be there doing demos with our protector skis and all that stuff. But honestly, what I'm most excited about with this festival is you and I have talked a lot about how to get local shops involved, which is awesome, because as we're trying to get into more like wholesale retail relationships, I know you're going to have us out there. You're going to have Continental out of Duluth, and then the Compound, which I think's Marquette, right?
Correct.
And then the Outfitter Harbor Springs, which is over on the Michigan side. And so we're going to have these 3 local shops that we're also trying to work with. So hopefully this is our introduction. If they don't know who I am, I'm like, hey, let's get some business going. But I'm excited because I think that's a much like the long term of that, tell me what you think, but I see that as such a great way. Like, we can come kind of be on that manufacturer side and demo equipment. And obviously, if these shops have the ability to sell stuff to the customers in their areas, hopefully we can grow from there. And like, I mean, that's kind of your idea with this, right?
Correct. I really want to, the mission of Midwest Telefest is to bring the tele community together and then also foster competition with some races. We don't have many Telemark races in the Midwest. They're East Coast or West Coast. And so, our races aren't anything huge or spectacular, but it's just to get people out being competitive with their Telemark ski gear. It's a lot of fun. It's what we're trying to push here.
Yeah. No, I love that. Well, okay. So let's hop into the 34th annual Midwest Telefest, because this is, you and I have been talking about this because like we kind of know what's going on in the background. Like you mentioned the music, like I know we wanted to announce this partnership with us still working together kind of in a different capacity, but let's get into it. Like, let's make some announcements, because first off, you got a brand new website. It looks awesome. People can go check it out at midwesttelefest.org. And but I want you to walk us through, because I think what's exciting is not only did you create this fundraising apparatus, but like what you're starting to put together for the festival. I think that's the most exciting part. So why don't you tell everybody what's going on this year?
Well, this year, first we partnered up with the Porcupine Mountains Ontonagon Area Convention and Visitors Bureau. They're the local entity that's promoting events in the Porcupines area. And we're super excited. They're going to help us out with a fairly large donation. And with that, we're going to be able to, one, get rid of the tele toll, which everybody will be excited about. And then also just be able to fund the promotions, the posters, all the We're going to have a line of merchandise this year for the first time in a long time. And so with t-shirts, that's been a big request. And then we partnered up with Higher Love Dispensaries. They're a organic dispensary in the UP of Michigan, and they're women run and operated, a really cool organization. And they're going to help us out with bringing in some music this year. And we're going to have Friday night, we're going to have the Higher Love Dance Party with Pertnear Sandstone from the Twin Cities area. We're really excited to have them coming this year. And then, of course, we have Freeheel Life, and we'll have a full demo fleet with them. And then hopefully we're going to have some vendors on hand this year. And then we're going to have our fundraisers that we've had in the last several years. And and the big one is we're going to add a movie contest this year.
Oh yeah. I forgot about the movie contest. First off, congratulations on all that, because for those that have not run an event, let alone run an event for 10 years, which you somehow survived that. It's pretty cool, man. Like to see you're getting like fundraising ability. Like I know this band's legit. Like it's a great bluegrass band. Like people are, they want to come see the band. You might be the next Telemark presidential candidate for getting rid of the tele toll. So that's pretty cool too. Geez, what were we even talking about? The event? No, I totally sidetracked because I was like so stoked that you did all that, dude. No, we're doing that. Yeah, Higher Love Dance Party. I think we were going to talk. I wanted to mention too. We're going to do the Freeheel Life Smelly Knee Pad. This is like the Midwest version of it. Super G race. So I'm pumped about that, because I remember when we were doing the Smelly Knee Pad here, and you were like, we got to have something like that at the Midwest Tele Fest. And I think it was the first. Was it the 30th? Was the first year you did that?
Yes, it was the 30th Telefest.
When I came out and got my 30th annual tattoo on my leg in Duluth, that's a rad event too, because it's tell people about your version of the Smelly Knee Pad out there. Like, what is it like?
So obviously we don't have a run like you have with High Rustler at Alta. It's a pretty epic run if you haven't skied it, but we brought back the elements that it has to be a ski over 200 centimeters long. It has to be pre-Targa cable bindings or 3-pin, and it has to be a leather boot. Buckles are allowed, super comps are allowed, but it has to be a leather boot. And then since we don't have epic run like High Rustler, we gave it a Midwest twist, and it's a group start, and it depends on how many contestants we have each year, but usually it's between 5 and 7 per race, lined up at the starting line. And we do allow full contact, so people get chippy.
Get chippy? What is that, a Wisconsin term? Get chippy?
I don't know, Midwest term, I guess. When
what the hell does get chippy mean?
Give a little elbow, or jab your shoulder into it, or you kind of force somebody off the course. It's you squeeze them out so they can't make the gate. And it's full contact on vintage gear, and yes, it's dangerous. It's maybe not the greatest idea, but man, is it a lot of fun.
I'm excited. I was talking to Alex here, and he and Taylor grew up playing hockey. So I was like trying to conceptualize how we could somehow come up with like some Freeheel Life hockey jerseys. So I don't know. We might have to modify some hockey jerseys somehow. See if we can get a big Unity tracks on the back with our names on it, and hockey helmets for sure, because that might be the clutch maneuver.
Yes. Headgear is recommended.
I love that. I'm gonna come out and get chippy with you guys. I love that. Yeah, and so we got Higher Love Dance Party. We got Pert Near Sandstone, which you turned me on to. They've got some really good tunes. I've been rocking that on the Spotify lately.
Awesome.
And that's been fun, which I like bluegrass. I really do. Even though you and I are always kind of throwing music back and forth, I like the bluegrass. I don't know a lot of blue. I know like Yonder Mountain String Band. That's about my extent of bluegrass, dude.
Well, that's a good one to know. That's a good one to know.
So Pert Near Sandstone, and that's going to be the dance party. Other stuff going on. Our demos, we're going to have the Freeheel Life Protectors out there, uphill, downhill race, Quills and Chills Mountain Race, Smelly Pad, Super G Race, chili contest, potluck. I'm really glad you're keeping that too, because like the chili cook-off is legit.
Yeah, it's for the après ski afterwards. Our good friend Steve Berthel, everybody knows him as Bert. He's been making Tellywhacker Ale for 33 years, I believe, for the fest. And so Saturday after the lifts close, that's when we move into the A-frame of the lodge, and the state park is really good about letting us use the lodge all night long. And so then after lifts close, we start with the après ski and with the chili contest, the gear swap, and then Bert busts out his beer and gives that away to everybody to try that's of age. And then we go into, after that, we slowly move into one of the largest potluck dinners you've ever seen. Everybody brings a dish. It's family style, with the whole Telly community. And then after that, we have, a lot of, socializing and hangout time. And then new this year is we're adding the movie contest. And so we will have the details on that in the near future here. We're still kind of working on that, but we're going to show the 3 winning movies after the potluck dinner. And then we'll wrap up the night with awards and then some lovely swag that our partners at Freeheel Life bring out.
I love that. Dude, that's what we were talking about, was the movie thing. I totally sidetracked off. Yeah, because I think you're going to have, so anybody can do, the way you're going to set it up is anybody can sort of enter their little edit or whatever. Yep. And then you'll play it at the potluck or after the potluck.
Yep. We'll pick the 3 best movies that are edited, and we'll figure out what my son Gavin, who is part of the fest here, he's kind of stepped up and taken on more of a role with me helping organize. And so he's going to kind of spearhead the movie contest. And so we'll announce the requirements, but they're going to be that 15 to 25 minute video edits. And, and then we'll pick the 3 best. And the only criteria is it has to be footage shot in the Midwest. It can be backcountry or lift serve, but it can't be, any footage of you hitting the Rockies or hitting the East Coast, or going up to Alaska. It's got to be all Midwest footage. That's going to be our one requirement.
That's awesome. I guess, I think I know the reason, but what is the reason for having that requirement, in terms of what are your hopes with doing a video contest where people can shoot an edit and then bring it to the festival, and it can only be Midwest?
Well, because we're Midwest proud, it is Midwest Tele Fest. So I feel like that's a fun twist. Everybody's always saying, you know, um, all we have is 300-foot bumps. Well, yeah, but there's some great 300-foot bumps that, yeah, we can get some great like 5-10 second video clips, and you put it all together, edit it, do a fun video. It promotes Midwest skiing. The goal of this is to, one, provide us another fun thing to do Saturday night, but also to help inspire. Maybe, everybody's got a video camera in their pocket now with smartphones. They all take great footage, and there's simple editing apps out there. And so my goal is to maybe inspire somebody that's trying to get into, or that's curious about ski films, and or just filming in general. And maybe it'll help push somebody to the next level.
Yeah, I love that, man. I think it's cool that you're doing what you're doing, because I think the festival, it really gives an opportunity for like everybody from around that area to come together and celebrate and just see each other. I think having been there, like 4 years ago, like I think there's not things like Midwest Tele Fest left in a lot of places, where it's a long running event. It's got this crazy long history. But the thing I love about it is you're sort of isolated. Like Ontonagon is way the hell up there. Like, I mean, you're on Lake Superior, but it's sort of this convergence of these 3 states plus, and everybody's sort of showing up. And it's like, you might not see these people except for the Midwest Tele Fest. And it's like, I encourage everybody to go, because it's like, it's such a cool experience. It's something it's homegrown, but I love that you're starting to put like this organization behind it, because like you've got a legit band, good sound, Higher Love's coming in. I mean, I don't know if you're the first to ever have a dispensary sponsor an event, but you might well be the very first person to ever have a dispensary sponsor a Telemark event, which is super rad for those that partake. And obviously they're helping with the dance party too. But I think the video stuff's rad too. And it's cool. It's like, it seems like a really well-balanced thing. And then the video adds this whole other stoke. Cause like, yeah, young kids might see this stuff and be like, hey, I'm proud to be from the Midwest. This is awesome. Like, I'm skiing these awesome runs, and like, I'm going to shoot, like you said, everyone's got a video camera in their pocket. But I don't know, man. I think you're doing awesome with it. It's fun to see.
Thanks. I've had a lot of great help. Heart Graphics in Ashland, Wisconsin, they've been, one of my loudest, along with you, the 2 businesses that have really helped me keep this thing going, was, like I said, you, and then Heart Graphics. They've been doing all my promotions and often giving me, just donating their services, which has been really great to do, and they continue to support us. And then also our good friend Dustin in Bessemer, Michigan. He's our good friend, tele friend. He's the one that's setting up the website for us. And, again, the Ontonagon, Porcupine Mountain Ontonagon Area Convention and Visitors Bureau, I made contact with them last year, and they helped out. They that and the American Inn also in Silver City. They've been good to us.
The good old American.
Yes, it's pretty famous if you've been to the Telefest in the past, that there's been a lot of late night shenanigans that have taken place there after the fest. But they're good to us, and they put the band up, and it's it's like you said, it's really, it's fun that we've, brought it back grassroots and homegrown and community supported, and we are in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. It's funny because I remember when I first met you, I remember there was kind of this vibe, like when you took over, it was almost like it just like the event obviously got passed off to you. Like, I mean, I think we're all lucky that you got a hold of it and it didn't just fade off into obscurity, because I honestly, man, like so many of these things, they get passed to somebody and then they're like, I'm not into it. Like, this is way too crazy. I don't really want to deal with it. So that's what I mean. Like, surviving 10 years is like one massive accomplishment, but also like, I think you're striking, like you can't do it all by yourself. And the fundraising helps offset the cost and the time. So it's like, for me, it's like you're finding like a cool balance between like a homegrown event with having a little bit of structure and backing with like the way that you have the nonprofit, because it, and working with a tourism bureau and stuff like that, that's rad, because that's like how the European ones do it. And that's what's neat, is to see that you're for the people that haven't been to this area, like, I mean, I'm actually surprised that there's a tourism bureau for that area, because it's so small, at least in the winter. I bet summer might be a little bit different, but
yeah, it's quite a bit different. There's a lot of summer traffic because it's Lake Superior and it's, cooler temperatures. It's everywhere south of us. It's usually a lot hotter. So everybody kind of escapes the heat and comes up by us. So it's a high tourism area. That's our biggest industry for sure, is tourism.
yeah, it's gorgeous up there, man. I remember, yeah, I mean, it was snowing when I came up that like 4 years ago, and I just was like, this is crazy. Like, it was just like a little bit of snow on this 2-lane highway.
Yeah,
I remember pulling up to Lake Superior and like the waves were like frozen.
yeah,
Like, and I was like, this is crazy. I'm like, this is such a unique place growing up in the Rocky Mountains. And I can't wait to come back, man. So it's going to be a real cool time. I wanted to ask you a little bit, like, you're getting the shops involved with this. It's just like, where do you see Telemark going in the Midwest? Like, in the next, we're getting to be older dudes, right? So
yeah.
we can sort of like look into the future. Like, what's Telemark going to be like in the Midwest, like year 45 of the event? What does it look like in 10 years?
Boy, I don't know. I hope, with reaching out and partnering up with the tourism board in Ontonagon, and then, partnering with Higher Love, and then also with you, with that, I just really want to just, again, pull the whole Telmark community together, but also educate, and bring more people into the Telmark sport, get, spread the word, and this is a great opportunity for people to come check out Telmark skiing that haven't, they've seen it on, their local hill, their 300-foot hill, but they're not really sure yet, on how to try it. Gears, we're kind of in a gear desert here. So that's why I'd really want to highlight the last 3 main shops that we have in the upper Midwest. We had a lot of them, and what really speared it was seeing that, Midwest Mountaineering was closing for good. Now, granted, they haven't been a tele shop in a long time, but they were still a main mountaineering shop. And so losing them, I really, I want to do what I can and really help promote, the three other shops that are still, pushing Telmark, and, let's highlight them. Let's, promote them and have, let everybody know that, like, yes, they can still get services from Freeheel Life, but you don't have to ship your stuff across the country anymore. We can use Continental. You can go up to the compound in Marquette, and hit up Harbor, the Outfitter in Harbor Springs. I was experiencing, when you and I had our Freeheel Life Midwest shops, I was having people drive all over the Midwest just to have, a trained technician that knows Telemark skiing work on their stuff. It's not just some dude at the Alpine shop, with a 22 jig trying to mount their, Outlaw or, Axle or Lynx or, Vice. It's a Telemark technician. And so I guess that's kind of what I'm hoping to do here is just really help send some business their way, so that we can make sure those shops last the next 10 years, 20 years.
Yeah, I love that, man. And I think that's what's been cool about our friendship over the years is like, even when we had you like teching up there, which if people need you to mount skis, you can still do it. But it's like, I think even both of us, we realize it's like, okay, like people are still driving like up to you in northern Wisconsin. And it's like, how do we solve these problems of localizing things better? Like Duluth's what, like 2 hours from you?
Yeah, about an hour and a half.
Hour and a half.
Yeah.
Like if you live in Duluth, like how can people like us, support Continental? Like how can we get people to go to Continental? Because you took me there. I remember we got breakfast, got coffee, we went in there, and I was asking him some questions, and I was like actually very surprised. Like I was like, huh. I'm like, you live in an area with a lot of telemark skiers. And I think with a little education, like you said, it's like part gear desert, part education. But like, how can we all come together, like manufacturers, event organizers, local populace, and kind of bring everybody into these zones, And I think that's what's so cool about your event, man. It's like you're kind of at the peak, literally like geographically, like at the peak of these 3 states, and people literally like migrate up to this event, and it's like we all show up and we're like, oh, where are you from? And they're like, oh, I'm from Michigan. And it's like the UP is such a unique place because look, if you're not from the Midwest, you might not even know what the Upper Peninsula, you might not even know. All you know is people from Michigan go like this, and then they start pointing out, but you don't realize there's like this whole other thing above it. And I think that's what's beautiful is like, you're in a zone where it kind of pulls all these people from different areas, So I'm excited.
We have people even coming from Indiana. Last year, we had a guy drive up from Kansas City. He's been wanting to come to the fest for, I don't know, 10, 15 years. I forget what it was, but he finally was like, this is the year. And I'm glad he came last year because it was a good snow year.
That's crazy. Kansas City is like so not close to where you're at.
No.
How many hours is that? That's got to be like 20-hour drive or something. I mean, that's a long ways away.
I thought he said it was like 16 or 17 hours.
I guess I'm about to find out because I think we're going to drive. I don't know. I got to figure out which way we're going to go because I don't know. I want to find a couple little ski spots. Hopefully there's some of those funky little Midwest spots to hit on the way out there because there's a couple spots I'd like to go check out. Do you know there's a ski area in St. Louis?
No, I did not.
Yeah, it's called let me look it up. It's like I don't even know if it's open. Let me see. Hang on. Hidden Valley Resort. No, I swear, I've driven there in the summer. I was passing through and I heard there was skiing in St. Louis, and I was like, huh. And I drove up there. It's maybe it's kind of like kind of Midwesty vibe, kind of not like in a neighborhood. I don't even know how to explain it. It's like one of those weird little tucked in little valleys. I mean, Hidden Valley, perfect way to describe it. But yeah, I was trying to think like, how do we get from Utah out to you and hit some of the most off the wall little resorts? So I guess if people are listening to this and you live somewhere and you're like, you got to come to our mountain, maybe we should start building a little itinerary of spots to go. But I don't know. Do you think we're going to get a big winter out there?
The snow nerds that I'm friends with, they're saying, El Nino, so it could be epic. There's a strong chance it's going to be a big dumping like last year, but only time will tell. It's hard to say.
Did you guys get I can't remember. Did you get a big year out last year?
Yeah, we did.
How many inches is a big year way up there?
Well, I forget, the Keweenaw Peninsula they get the most. But, for between the Wisconsin, Western UP, if we get 300 inches, anything over 250 inches, that's a good year for us.
Yeah, no, that's great. Oh, I gotta say this is, if people haven't heard about the Freeheel Life Glades, can you give the whole background on this? Because one, I'm honored that we have this area named after our brand, but I'm also like, I haven't even skied it. I probably skied through there, but not since you put the signs up and
right.
Give the people a background on it.
So last weekend was our last brush cutting party, October 14th. We do one at the beginning of the month, one couple weeks later. And, the Hill approached us. I should say Gogebic Community College, they were operating the Hill and leasing it from the state park. And they were the ones that approached us and said, hey, do you guys want to help maintain the gladed areas? We'll give you your own run. You guys can pretty much do what you want with it. You guys organize the work parties and you tell us the name and we'll get you a sign. And so, I thought about a couple different names and, I wasn't really sure what to do. Nothing was really clicking. And finally I was like, yeah, we're partners, but also, we're living the Freeheel life. We really are. So yeah, it's your brand, but it's also like a lifestyle. I love that. I don't know. It's more. So that's why I was like, let's call it Freeheel Life Glades. And then it's maintained by Midwest Telefest. And so it was gladed at one point a few years ago. And then there was some straight line winds that came through the park and, dropped 20, 30 huge old growth hemlocks and just closed the run. You can't get through them. These logs are 3 foot plus, round. So they're big trees. You can't just ski over them. And then when they're crisscrossed and laying on top of each other, it's just a mess. And so 4 years ago, we slowly started chipping away at that tangle. And we've slowly opened up different areas of this wooded area between Superior View and Hemlock. And it's on the western side of the ski resort. And we have 3 lines through there now. and 3 entrances, and you can ski anywhere in that wooded area. It's all skiable. It's just how thick you want to ski your woods, like it gets pretty thick, and if you're okay with taking a twig a stick to the face every once in a while, and coming out with a scratch here and there, then yeah, the whole woods is skiable. But we kind of have it 3 main lines that are, you can just shoot it, and it's nice spacing. We use the brush and the logs that we cut. We use it to create features in the woods. So like if there's a huge stump that we don't have equipment to grind big stumps, and none of us have huge big long bar chainsaws. So if stuff is just too big to cut or remove, then we use a lot of the down stuff to create jumps and make it into a feature. We leave big logs that people that like to ride rails, they could slide across the log here and there. And so the Porkies is really lucky. We have one of the ski patrollers there, Yasik. He's kind of like the glade master, and so he's the one that kind of really helps organize a lot of the work that happens in the woods there. And he always comes out and helps us, and he's the one that's always helping push everybody to create features in the woods, if we can and have the ability to.
I love that, man. That's I agree. We're all living the Freeheel life. It's funny when you said that, because it like instantly reminded me, like, I don't even know if you know this, but like where I came up with that, and it was like 2002 or 2003, somewhere in there. I had read about blogging, which is really funny to think about, because I was like, oh, blogging, and I was like, I should start a blog. I should talk about my life, and so literally Freeheel life was like just like this idea. I was like, oh, I'm gonna just document me telemark skiing or whatever. That's really what it was. Like freeheellife.com literally was like a blog site for myself. And it's kind of cool that you said that, because it's like, yeah, that's funny, because that really is why I came up with that a long time ago. It's like living the Freeheel life, man. We're telemark skiing. And that's what's been cool about being friends with you over the years too, is like, we'll shoot pictures back and forth. You'd be like, dude, I found these old skis, Actually, I meant to send you a picture. This kid dropped off these heads with 3-pin bindings. I don't know if you saw that on Instagram, but it was like, no. I'll have to send it to you. It literally was like, those old heads that are black, they used to monogram them and stuff. It's got Normark 3-pins on those, and like they're so heavy. Like it's like, God. It's a super weird setup. But anyways, I just think it's been fun, like meeting people like you and people all over, and especially people in the Midwest. Like there's so many people that just love telemark skiing, man. And it's awesome. And I'm glad you're out there living the Freeheel life, giving people a place to go. It's cool.
Thanks.
Well, I guess anything else you want to let people know about the, I guess we should probably let people know the dates. February 9th through the 11th at the Porcupine Mountain ski area. And I'll be posting a bunch of this sick poster that you made, which is amazing. It's like the best. I'm glad you're an old school dude that likes posters. So,
yeah, I'm pretty excited about this one too. We partnered up with an old friend of my wife's that she went to college with, Kate Irwin, out of Council Bluffs, Iowa, and she just did a great job. I asked her to draw caricatures of the band, and she did a really good job, and then kind of gave her the lowdown on Telemark skiing, and she had to do quite a fair amount of research, and she had a blast with it. And I think we're going to try and have her do maybe a few more posters in the future for us, kind of maybe create like a little mini series. But yeah, it was just really fun. I'm old school. I like my posters, tour art, like when you go to a festival, it's always fun to see, what the festival had for the, poster art this year. And so that's the one thing I've always, when we took this over 11 years ago, that was the one thing that I was like, I called right away. There is this kind of convoluted idea at the beginning that we were going to have this big, huge group communal, like, I guess just big, huge communal group of organizers. And we were going to have this massive like email chain. And yeah, like there was a friend that was going to get on it, and then it wasn't going to work out for his schedule. And so finally a friend and I, Matt Manders, the two of us just grabbed it, and we're like, okay, we're going to do this. And we planned that Telefest 10 years ago in 1 month. Like we decided like January 4th or something like that, early January. We're like, okay, this isn't happening, so we got to just do this. So that first year we did this, we threw it together within like less than a month. And the one thing I claimed right away was like, I get posters. I want to do the posters.
That's amazing.
And so they've slowly progressed over the years. And but this year, yeah, I'm really excited how it turned out, and super fun working with Kate. And then of course the Lawrence at Heart Graphics, he also is a huge part of my posters. Him and I, we always bounce ideas off each other, and somehow I tell him what I'm thinking in my mind, and somehow he magically makes it happen on paper. So it's pretty cool. It's been a fun, friendship and partnership, over the years working with Heart Graphics.
That's awesome, man. Well, I love the posters. I would, I don't know if you have access to, 34 years is a long time. So maybe one day you'll track down every single flyer or poster that's ever been made for the festival. You'll have to post them. And I still need to talk to the Life Tool guys, man. I'm still fascinated by that whole story.
Oh, yes.
So I might have to reconvene with that conversation to see if we can get those dudes on the podcast and get the budding Telemark story of sort of the emporium that was Life Tools, that sold like backcountry gear and like sandals or whatever. I can't remember what they told me, but I remember it was such like, I was like, what?
It was gear and organic food.
Oh, that's what it was. Food.
Yeah. Life Tools. Life Tools. It's what you need. Gear and food.
That's so crazy, dude.
Yeah.
In Green Bay, Wisconsin, right?
Yeah. There's very little hills over that way. It's pretty flat. There is a small hill called Paul Bunyan, and they're opened, just north of I believe northwest of Green Bay. And then there is Kettle Bowl a little further away. But yeah, there's not a whole lot of like big mountain skiing, Midwest big mountain skiing in the Green Bay area. It's not really known for a ski area, so yeah, it is pretty funny that that's where Life Tools was based out of.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, awesome, dude. I'm so glad we got to catch up. I'm glad we got to announce our partnership with continuing our friendship, our partnership, Freeheel Life, Midwest Tele Fest. For those of you that want to check it out, midwesttelefest.org is live. And this is going to be an awesome time. February 9th through the 11th at the Porcupine Mountain Ski Area. Higher Love Dance Party with Pert Near Sandstone, demos from us at Freeheel Life, and a bunch of other awesome stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing you in February, bro.
And I'd like to make sure everybody knows that we are on Facebook and Instagram, and the website is work in progress. So check back. We are going to be slowly adding things to it. We just it was a big push to get it live. So now we're going to slowly tweak things and add things and change it up. So yeah, check back with us and, check out the site, see how it develops.
I love that, man. And I'll be sure to keep sharing the website and the Instagram and the Facebook and stuff, and we'll keep directing people your way. And we're only a couple months away from our Midwest extravaganza. So I'm looking forward to some Telewhacker and some good times out there, man. So thanks for coming on, bro.
Always.
All right, man. Peace.
Peace.